$90 million Australian fighter jets collecting dust in Guam amid military shakeup. Australia's defense strategy is undergoing a major overhaul as the country faces growing military tensions in the region, particularly from China's increasing aggression and military capabilities. The strategy involves impactful force projection and increased spending on defense, including a recent arms buildup that includes a $368 billion defense pact with the U.S. and Britain that will lead to Australia building its own nuclear-powered attack submarines. While this decision has been controversial, experts argue that it is necessary to ensure security in a period of extreme risk. However, the decision to dump retired F-18A divided by B Hornets in Guam has raised questions about the effectiveness of Australia's defense strategy, particularly as it still relies on some older equipment. These Hornets, which cost up to $90 million each, are reportedly too old and outdated to be of any use. While suggestions have been made that the planes should be given to Ukraine to help fight off the Russian invasion, experts argue that the planes are outdated and not capable of modern air combat. This issue of outdated equipment and capabilities is a significant challenge for Australia's military, raising questions about how effective it will be in the face of modern threats. Another challenge facing Australia's military is the shifting global political landscape. The rise of China as a military and economic power has created new challenges for Australia, which has historically relied on the U.S. for security. As China's influence grows in the region, Australia may need to find new allies and partners to ensure its security. The conflict in Ukraine also highlights the challenges facing Australia. While the country is not directly involved in the conflict, it is a member of the international community and has a responsibility to support the rules-based order. To address these challenges, Australia needs to adopt a nuanced approach to defense and security. One area where Australia can play a positive role is in promoting regional stability and cooperation. The Indo-Pacific region is home to some of the world's fastest-growing economies, and Australia has an opportunity to play a leading role in promoting economic growth and cooperation. This can help to reduce tensions in the region and create new opportunities for trade and investment. However, this will require Australia to work closely with its neighbors and to develop strong relationships based on trust and mutual respect. Another challenge that impacts Australia's defense strategy is the shortage of skilled personnel in the defense industry. This is a problem that has been identified by the Australian government, which has launched a range of initiatives to address the issue. One of the most promising initiatives is the Defense Industry Skilling and STEM strategy, which aims to increase the number of skilled workers in the defense industry. The strategy includes a range of measures, such as investment in education and training, support for apprenticeships and internships, and partnerships between the defense industry and universities. Additionally, the growing threat of cyber attacks poses a significant challenge to Australia's national security. To address this threat, Australia needs to invest in cybersecurity and develop new technologies to protect its systems. It also needs to work closely with other countries to develop international norms and standards for cybersecurity and to share information and expertise. To ensure that its defense spending is sustainable, Australia needs to focus its defense spending on areas that provide the greatest strategic value, such as cybersecurity, technology, and research and development. This means working closely with other countries to share the costs of defense and ensure that defense spending is not a drain on the economy. In conclusion, Australia's defense strategy faces a range of challenges, both domestic and international. The country needs to balance the need to defend its interests with the need to maintain strong relationships with its neighbors and to promote regional stability and cooperation. To address these challenges, Australia needs to adopt a nuanced approach to defense and security that takes into account the complex and rapidly changing geopolitical landscape. Another challenge that Australia faces in its defense strategy is the issue of climate change. The effects of climate change, such as rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and food and water scarcity, are projected to cause significant security risks in the region. The Australian Defence Force recognizes the importance of addressing this issue and has developed a climate change and sustainability plan to mitigate the impact of climate change on national security. The plan includes measures such as reducing the Defense Force's carbon footprint, increasing energy efficiency, and investing in renewable energy. It also involves working with partner countries in the region to address the security risks posed by climate change. By taking action on climate change, Australia can not only protect its national security but also contribute to global efforts to combat climate change. In addition to these challenges, Australia's defense strategy also needs to take into account the changing nature of warfare. The emergence of new technologies, such as artificial intelligence and autonomous weapons systems, is transforming the way wars are fought. As a result, Australia needs to invest in new technologies and capabilities to ensure that its defense forces are prepared for modern threats. One promising area of investment is in the development of hypersonic weapons. Hypersonic weapons can travel at speeds of up to Mach 5 or 6, making them faster than any other weapon currently in use. They can also maneuver in flight, making them difficult to detect and intercept. Australia is currently working with the U.S. on the development of hypersonic missiles, and this technology is expected to become an important part of Australia's defense strategy. Another area of investment is in cybersecurity. As the world becomes increasingly interconnected, cyber attacks are becoming more common and more sophisticated. Australia needs to invest in cybersecurity to protect its critical infrastructure and government systems. It also needs to work with other countries to develop international norms and standards for cybersecurity and to share information and expertise. To ensure that Australia's defense forces are equipped to deal with modern threats, the country also needs to invest in the development of new capabilities, such as unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, and unmanned surface vessels, USVs. These technologies can provide new ways of gathering intelligence and conducting surveillance without putting human lives at risk. Australia also needs to invest in its defense industry to ensure that it has a strong domestic capability to support its defense forces. The defense industry can provide high-quality jobs and contribute to economic growth, while also ensuring that Australia has a reliable source of supply for its defense equipment and technology. To achieve this, the government has launched a range of initiatives to support the defense industry, such as the Centre for Defense Industry Capability and the Defense Innovation Hub. These initiatives provide funding and support for defense industry research and development, as well as promoting collaboration between the defense industry and universities and research institutions. In conclusion, Australia's defense strategy faces a range of challenges, both domestic and international. To address these challenges, Australia needs to adopt a nuanced approach to defense and security that takes into account the complex and rapidly changing geopolitical landscape. This will require strong leadership, careful planning, and a commitment to working with other countries to promote a stable and secure world. Australia needs to invest in new technologies and capabilities to ensure that its defense forces are prepared for modern threats. This includes investment in hypersonic weapons, cybersecurity, and unmanned aerial and surface vehicles. It also requires investment in the defense industry to ensure that Australia has a strong domestic capability to support its defense forces. Australia also needs to address the impact of climate change on national security and work with partner countries in the region to address security risks posed by climate change. By taking action on climate change and investing in new technologies and capabilities, Australia can ensure that it is prepared to defend its interests and contribute to global efforts to promote peace and stability.